The Photoshop features I use most as a full-time graphic designer, let's talk about those. So first things first, we're going to bring this image into Photoshop. This is something that I got from Midjourney, and I wanted to start there so that I can compare and contrast Firefly. But before I do that, let's go ahead and remove the background because I do that to almost all of my artwork. And then I want to show you the features of the remove tool. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in an image from Midjourney as well that just has a bit of cables and different things in the background that might be a little bit more difficult to remove in the past, but it's not like that anymore. So let's go ahead and place this image, and we'll go down here to remove tool. Here you're going to see a button that says find distractions, and this is pretty much just going to allow you to remove wires, cables, people, different things that are in the background that's going to add a bit of clutter to your image. So before we do that, let's go down here to the layer and make a new layer, and this is where we're going to do this actual editing on. Just make sure you have this sample all layers clicked. If you don't, nothing's going to happen because there's nothing to sample. Now that we have that done, we're going to go over here to find distractions, and we're going to click wires and cables. And just like that, this is what we're going to get from that image generation. And it looks clean. It removed it from the background and it did it within a matter of seconds. Now, some things to note here is that I have it on auto. So that's may use generative AI. And that's pretty much going to give the computer or the system the ability to use AI if it needs to, or if it's something a bit more simpler, it won't use AI. Now you can toggle on and off if you want always using AI or not using AI at all. You can do that for yourself and see what you like different. But I think if you just leave that feature on, it should be able to figure it out for the most part. And before I get into the next feature, let me just show you how you can remove people from the background as well. All right, so let's bring in a simple image just to see how it works first. So then go down to remove tool, and then we're going to go to find distractions, and we're going to hit people. And now we've done that, and it seemed to get everyone correctly. It even got a little bit of a shadow, but I'm going to see what it does with this. I'm just going to hit enter, and it'll figure this out for itself. And just like that, it has got rid of this whole image. So it went from something like that to this, and that is not bad at all. So I want to see what it's going to do with something with more people in it, like down here. So let's try this one, find distractions, people, and it is searching. So it has found a bunch of people on the street kind of walking. It has missed these right here. So if you wanted to add those in, you would just use this brush right here, and you would add those people in. And again, it removed the people pretty good. It doesn't give you a perfect image, but you can toggle on and off with the AI if you want to use that, or if you just want to use Photoshop. But I got to say, this is pretty good just for getting rid of people in a matter of seconds. All right, now that you've seen a little bit about how this remove tool can really speed up the workflow, which is what I'm concerned about as a full-time graphic designer, let's talk about the Firefly Model 3. So I purposely went and got this image from Midjourney using this prompt right here. Now I'm going to put that prompt into Firefly with these new features, and hopefully it can give me something that's actually comparable. I made a video already talking about the tutorial version of how to use generative workspace, which is where you activate Firefly and kind of generate images. But for this example, I'm going to get more into just the comparison. So let's go over here to edit, and then we're going to go to generative workspace. And this is going to pop up this little box where you can add prompts, and you have a whole timeline right here. So that's that old fire image that I worked on. If we go down here, we're going to put the same prompt in and see what we get. We got some pretty good images. So these are good. They don't look as high quality, but at the same time, I think that they're pretty dope. One of the things that helps this feature shine is that you can actually add variations within the prompt and get multiple things in a matter of seconds. So to keep it in simple terms, we're just going to go down here to the prompt, and we're going to add brackets. So we'll add a bracket right in front of man, and then we'll put a comma and add a woman in another bracket. And pretty much what that's going to do is it's going to make this same exact prompt, but with men and women. If we want to add another variation, let's go over here to width, and we'll do a bracket, formal, and then we'll do a comma and add casual, and then we'll add another bracket. So now it's going to give you images of men and women and formal and casual using this prompt. And as you see right there, you're going to get a bunch of different results in a matter of seconds. And this is going to give you, at the very least, a way to do more ideation or to just add a better workflow when you're trying to create designs. So here are the results that we got. And these are pretty dope. Like if I zoom in here, this is actually decently clear. I would probably have to still upscale this before I worked with it, but this is pretty damn good. While doing this comparison, I realized that the images were different, as you see right here, between this one and this one, the crispness and just the overall feel and look. And I was wondering why Model 3 was not giving me the same work. And I think it might be the prompting or something within the initial prompts of it. And what I mean by that is, if I were to go here and let's say change something on the Midjourney image using Photoshop's Firefly 3, is going to give me results comparable to the Midjourney image, which lets me know that this has a capability of creating it, and maybe I'm just not prompting it correctly within Photoshop. So let's go back to the original hat, and something that I didn't mention, and I feel like I've mentioned this before, but if you don't remember, you can also just generate backgrounds. So if I go back down to this original image that I removed the background on, and I click over here, this is going to allow me to change the background. You see this generate background pop up. I'm pretty sure I knew about this feature, but let's just see what it gives us anyway. So let's put in New York City street cinematic and see what we get. Here are some pretty good image generations. I'll even generate one more time. And I really like this one. I'm going to go with that if I was going to change it, but it's still comparable. It's really dope. And I think that just in Photoshop alone, having all this stuff in one, I've said this in my other videos, it makes my workflow a lot easier. And I know I'm saying that a lot, but that's what I'm focused on, is the full-time graphic designer workflow. Is this more than just a cool feature that someone's showing you a tutorial on, or is this something that you can actually use? Now, don't get me wrong, there are a bunch of features in Photoshop that I think you should take advantage of, but if you're trying to turn something like this into something like this, or some of the other artwork that I've done, these are some of the main features that I use to do it. And it's not a lot of these super elaborate tutorials that you might see out there. While I think those are helpful, I'm just trying to keep it straightforward to you and actually what works on a day-to-day basis as a graphic designer. So take advantage of everything down in the description. That'll help you create a lot more efficient. And I'm going to keep giving you videos. This is my last one of 2024. Hope you had a great year and go into 2025 doing exactly what you want to do in your life. All right, I'm going to see you next year. All right.